Welcome to a championship edition of the Commissioner's Corner. We just wrapped up the WCHA final face-off, an incredible weekend of hockey. 4 of the top 10 teams in the country. Ended with a number 1 versus number 2 battle in our championship game that lived up to all of the hype by sending us into overtime with Ohio State coming out on top about 23 seconds into overtime. Sophie Jakes hit the back of the net for the Buckeyes to win their second WCHA final faceoff trophy in 3 years. I'm joined today by a Buckeye, Paetyn Levis, the senior from Rogers, Minnesota. Paetyn, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited to chat. We're going to get to it in the middle there, but there was a lot of family in the stands and it was really fun to see everyone's reaction. So we'll talk about that a little bit here in a second too, but let's start with this. So first of all, congratulations. Certainly dramatic, maybe is a good word for kind of how the game went. It was, you're coming to the third down 2-0 and, fighting for everything you could get there in the third period. And then sort of for some controversial no goal by Minnesota right towards the end of the third kept us going into overtime. So I just really want to know, what was the conversation in the locker room like before the third? And then what was that feeling like when you saw the puck go in the back of the net so quickly into overtime?
Yeah, I think after the second period, obviously we wanted to control that period a little more than we did, but going into the third period, the message was more like we have nothing to lose here. We're obviously down 2-0, so we got to battle back, and I think I'm just so proud of how the girls ended up all buying into that message and coming out on fire. And when I saw the puck hit the back of the net, I knew going into the overtime, I was like, we got to score on this power play. It was a huge opportunity for us. So for Sophie to get the puck in the slot there, I kind of had a feeling that she was going to bury it. I mean, she's been doing unbelievable this year, obviously had a great season. So for her to get that goal was awesome. And I think it was so amazing for our team. And we were just so excited. I was in shock. It was a crazy experience, but loved every minute of it and every second of it with the girls that we got to spend it with. So
yeah, it was really exciting. And I think for folks who were watching, certainly it felt a little bit like a tale of two games, if you will. Like the energy and the momentum that you all brought to the ice in the third was very different than what we had seen in the first two periods. And, assuming that there was some definite push in the locker room, but it was interesting for me because you won both games in the final faceoff by 1. You beat Wisconsin 2-1 in the semis and then win 3-2 in the final. Very different games, but also not sure you played great in either game for a while, so it was interesting just to see the differences within your own team in those two games. So you've had those experiences now. What gives you the confidence in those situations to continue to just keep battling?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good question. We've definitely talked about it in the locker room about how some of those periods we wish would have gone other ways, or we wish we would have performed better. And obviously going into the final faceoff, there was nerves, and half our team hadn't been in that position before, which was also a huge factor going in. But at the end of the day, those are excuses, and we got the job done. So I think focusing on the fact that even though we didn't play our best game, we still battled back and found a way to win. I think that is a huge confidence build going into the national tournament. And obviously we're working every day at practice to improve on those things and not have those periods and performances that I think we would have wished gone better. But I think at the end of the day, the fact that we were able to maybe go down 2-0 against Minnesota and be able to battle back in that third period and end up winning the game, I think that shows the character and the push that our team has. We're not going to quit. We're going to keep fighting. And I'm just so proud. And I guess that gives me even more confidence within what our team has and what our girls can show going into the national tournament. So I'm super proud of them. And I think it shows the character that our team has built and how close we are, because we all just leaned in on each other and grew from those experiences. So
yeah, for sure. It has to be a confidence builder. I mean, there's no really any other way to look at it. And I hear it all the time, but I heard it again this weekend, and it was just Buckeye hockey, right? It was just kind of that relentless, never give up type mentality. And it certainly, led you to a championship, which is nice. So for you, being a part of the 2020 team that won the first ever championship for Ohio State in the final faceoff, so this is number 2 in 3 years, what was different about this one, or what felt different for you, maybe as a senior this go around?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just being my senior year, that's all you could ever ask for is winning that trophy and getting that ring. But I think there's also a lot more work to be done that we're super excited for. But I would say the main difference this year was how we won it. Like, I'm just so proud, and being a leader on this team just makes me so proud and so honored because the way we battled back and fought back in the whole tournament, we didn't ever have a time where we were like comfortable in our spot. And I appreciate the girls for how much effort and hard work we've put into this. And I just think everything that this team has gone through this year, it made the end of the year and that kind of ending just way more special with the girls in the locker room. And I'm just so proud of them. And I just the way we won it in overtime, battling back. I mean, we were down 2-0 going in the third period, like just that kind of crazy ending, I think was way different than, I guess we did win it in overtime my first year too, but it just felt like a different experience because we truly did have to fight back. And that just proved, I think, a lot of like the character and a lot of the girls. We've just become such a close-knit group this year, and I'm so proud of everyone and how we've done that. So I would say that was the most different this year. It kind of was more special, obviously, being a senior as well.
Yeah, certainly, in 2020 it was, I wouldn't say it was like a surprise, but having never had won it before, it's it's the first one, right? It's always going to feel like that. And coming in this year, obviously you were the 2 seed and maybe not the, I don't know if there were favorites at that point, but maybe not the higher seed. So there was a little bit potentially more pressure, if you will, but it was almost more expected. I felt like, I felt like your group, just from the moment I saw you all, was just, the focus was a little bit different. And I know you have a lot more to play for, which we'll also talk about, but I want to go back to what we talked about at the beginning. So obviously our championships at Ritter at the University of Minnesota, you being a Rogers girl and a lot of your teammates being from Minnesota, there was a lot of family, a lot of friends and family in the stands. And at the end of the game, for me, watching everyone celebrate and watching, we got some great photos of different things with family around. And I just wonder what that felt like for you.
Yeah, my family's always been there for me. They're my rock. Obviously they're from Minnesota, so they get to see about half of my games, but my parents do a great job, and even my extended family, like everyone says, well, how do you have so many people there? But my mom has 5 siblings, or 4 siblings, 5 including her, so that makes a big family as it is. But they've been awesome towards supporting my hockey career and everything that I've done, so I can't thank them enough. It's kind of funny because our team jokes that half my family is their family when they don't have family in town, because my family will always be there. But yeah, it was so awesome to share that moment with them. Obviously growing up, they've grown up with me. They've seen how hard you work for something like that. So I think just having them be a part of it, and then especially sharing it with my teammates and how much they love my family as a second family, was super cool and super awesome as well. So it was so special having it at Ritter. I honestly love having that championship in Minnesota, because then more of my family can make it. So
the one thing that comes out of this weekend is, as you guys know, after you landed Sunday night, you're now the overall number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, the number 1 team in the country in the polls to end the regular season. It's incredible to look at this program and where it's come from, and really where it's come from even in your 4 years. And so, like, what do you attribute all of that success to? How do you think you finally maybe got to this point?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very loaded question, obviously, but I think first of all, like the people who are here before me, obviously built and started the program before I was here. So giving credit to the alumni, and obviously Muzzy came in and changed the program around pretty quickly. And I think she brought in the right staff to make it work. And so I think that was a huge part of how quickly our program was able to turn around, is I think she got people in here that she trusted and that do the right job. And I think that has accredited to so much of her also being able to focus more on the hockey part of things and not having to worry about everything else on the outside. I think helps her just in her successes as well. But obviously the girls here too, and the culture is just different. I know everyone says that like the culture at Ohio State is next level, but it truly is. Like the girls here and the culture that we built and how much we love each other no matter what is just something different. And I think when you get on campus, like you experience that. And also the support we've gotten from around us has also grown so much since I've been here. Like the Columbus Blue Jackets just did we've done a bunch of stuff with them this year, growing the girls game in Columbus area, which is super cool and super awesome to see, because obviously hockey wasn't a big thing, and still isn't a huge thing in Columbus area. But so the support from them and how much they support us, because obviously NHL is a much bigger deal, and then them showing spotlight on us helps our program grow even more. And then obviously growing the younger game as well, having a bunch of fans, and we've grown a fan group around the Columbus area, so I think that helps a lot too. But I mean, it's built from the bottom up. I would say the culture that Muzzy put in place here, and how we go day to day experiences, I think builds up the culture, and that's what shows in those championship situations. I think that is all attributed to the culture and just the girls and the love that is shared in this group. So definitely attribute it to a lot of things, and it's a very loaded question, but I would say the support staff and the culture has really grown the program as quickly as it has.
For sure. And there's expectation now, and sometimes that matters, right? I mean, I think once everyone just embraced the fact that we're going to make this program great and here's the expectation and now we're going to live that way, it's just very evident, right? That I do the culture thing. You're right. People say culture all the time, but I think you can really see it when you look at your program. And speaking of the fans and the fan base, you get one more game at home. So that's awesome. You'll play a little bit of home ice advantage, no doubt, I think, at the Ohio State ice rink. Certainly. Yes. You'll play the winner of Quinnipiac and Syracuse, who play on Thursday night. So just, I guess, what are you looking forward to? And maybe what's the focus this week in practice?
Yeah, one of our goals at the beginning of the year was to host the first round of NCAA. So having that home ice advantage was a huge goal for us to accomplish. And obviously it's the first time in program history. So I think that was super awesome and super cool, super important to us this year. So we're definitely going to use it to our advantage. But I'm just super excited to be back home for the last time. It's kind of surreal now because we know it'll be our last time, but super excited to see all the fans there because I know it's going to be crazy. They've already started decorating the rink and NCAA stuff, so I think it'll be a different feel. But I'm just really excited to get back and start we're going to go to the game on Thursday, obviously, and watch. So I'm excited it'll be the first time watching a game in my own rink, so it'll be kind of different, but I'm just really excited to get back into the swing of things on Saturday. And I think the vibe around the rink is going to be crazy because I think a lot of people will be coming out for it, obviously, since it is a national tournament. It's the first time we've hosted the national tournament. So I think it's a really good opportunity for us in Ohio State in general. So
yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. You've earned that recognition. You've earned those fans being there, and we have a lot of people cheering from you near and far, no doubt about it. Let's switch gears just a little bit. So tell us all a little bit about Paetyn. So we've talked about your family generally, but tell us a little bit about mom, dad, siblings, maybe kind of how you got into hockey.
Yeah, I'm obviously from Rogers, Minnesota. Mom, dad, Charlie, Tara, and then I have a brother, Cal Levis. He is a sophomore, I think, in college. Yeah, he's a sophomore. He plays juniors right now, but should be a sophomore in college. Okay. So he's still playing hockey. Hockey has always been a huge part of my family, whether my mom liked that part of it or not. It was definitely more of a dad push, but he took me to my first Wild game and I just absolutely loved it. Like my eyes were glued to the ice. I was like, I never want to leave. I never want to leave. And then asked him to start skating. So obviously the traditional Minnesota hockey, I started skating on ponds when I was probably like 3 or 4 when I could start walking. Ice skates were on my feet. So in the ponds in the backyard, started skating with my dad all the time. And then I think it was probably 5 where I put on actual gear and started playing hockey. But the Minnesota Wild game was what dragged me into the sport. And then I've loved it ever since and just taken it upon.
I love it. So I think I told you this when I saw you, actually. It's been a long time. Opening weekend of the season, I flew out to Columbus for your opening games when you played St. Thomas. And I was sitting next to your dad on the plane. And so it was funny because it was an early flight, and I'm sure I don't really remember, but I'm positive I was like, oh, I'll take a nap. And I definitely didn't nap. Your dad and I just chatted the whole way, which was so fun because I think, oftentimes when student athletes are in their senior year or whatever, it's all about the student athlete and what they'll miss when they're done or whatever. But listening to your dad and just how, first of all, proud he is of you, and second of all, how much they just love Ohio State and love the family atmosphere that extends beyond the, just the teammates. It's in the families and all of that. It cemented all of those things that you talked about, and in terms of just culture and all of that. And so he shared with me some of his hockey background and how he, obviously the connection that the two of you have. I didn't know that maybe mom wasn't a hockey fan right away. Was mom like?
I mean, I think she loved it when she saw how much we loved it, but it was definitely my dad, obviously. Yeah. My dad played hockey. He actually played at Shattuck, so he was a hockey guy. And then my mom's side of the family never played hockey at all, so I think that she just didn't grow up around it. But obviously she learned how to be in a rink every single weekend very quickly. And then when my brother started it, I think it worsened. But no, she absolutely loves it now, and she's a great hockey mom now. But no, I would say at the start she probably wasn't the biggest fan of it. I think she gave me every other sport option as well, so she was super about being an all-around athlete, which
she was just trying to make you well-rounded. That's what we do as moms. We want to make sure you have all the choices.
Yes, yeah, she was very much wanted me to be all around, but I loved hockey the most. So, but I think she sees that, and she supported that, obviously.
It's worked out well. It's worked out well.
I think she's happy now.
I think so too. I'm quite sure. And as it comes to, as we end at least this season, I know it's emotional for all involved, but there's still work to be done. So the eyes are on the prize here for the next couple of weeks, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're totally gonna switch gears to my favorite part at the end, when I'm gonna give you some quick ones, and you just got to tell me the first thing that comes to your head. Okay. Okay. Sweater or hoodie?
Hoodie.
Phone call or text?
Phone call.
Really? FaceTime or phone?
FaceTime.
Okay. See, I feel like I have to clarify that now, because everyone's like phone call, and I'm like, no, nobody talks. No,
yeah, your generation does not talk on the phone. No, yeah, you're right. I would say FaceTime more. FaceTime 100%.
Okay, fair. Card game or board game?
Card game. Starbucks
or Caribou?
This is hard because whenever I'm in Minnesota, I always get Caribou. But I'm more of a Starbucks girl right now because there's no Caribou in Ohio. So
well, that's fair. Oceans or mountains?
Oceans.
Pen or pencil?
Pen.
I didn't even ask. Shoot, Paetyn, what's your major?
Oh, health sciences with a business minor.
What do you want to do with that major?
Medical sales, hopefully. Yeah.
Okay. And you said pen. I always think pen is so bold. Dude, that just shows me you're bold. You're not afraid of it.
I don't know if I'm bold, but I guess, yeah, you're right. You can't erase a pen, but I just feel like it writes neater. Whenever I write with a pen, it's always neater. I don't know.
100%. I'm the same way, but I also dislike it when I have to scribble. So it's a perfectionist. Anyway, okay. When you go to the movies, are you a popcorn or candy person?
Popcorn.
Passenger or driver?
Passenger, I think. I get car sick, so I don't really know if I would be, but I would much rather ride a shotgun than be driving. But
okay, fair. Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
You almost sounded like you didn't want to say that out loud.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I get up really early in the mornings, but I'm wide awake at 10 p.m. So.
Well, that does 10 p.m. If 10 p.m. is considered a night owl. So, okay. Well, yeah. Definitions, some definitions.
Yeah.
Dinner or dessert?
Dinner.
Road trip or plane trip?
Plane trip.
Where would you go? Dream destination?
Ooh. Probably Bora Bora or something crazy like that. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, that matches the oceans that you said earlier. You just want to be warm, relaxed. Got it.
Yeah, swim with a bunch of sea animals. Yeah, I would love that.
Okay. Dogs or cats?
Dogs, 100%.
Do you have a dog?
I used to have a dog, yeah.
Okay. That was quick though, 100%. Netflix
100%. I'm not a cat person at all.
You never know, it might change in your future.
It might change. True. Teely always tries to get me to watch cat videos, but I don't know. It's not really my forte of things.
So now I have a nugget on Teely too. She likes to watch
Teely
cat
is
videos.
a massive cat person, yes.
Hilarious. Okay. Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Dine in or delivery?
Dine in.
Okay, last one. What's one word you would use to describe yourself as a hockey player?
Oh. Passionate. Does that one use all the time?
No.
Oh,
I think maybe.
Okay.
So this is interesting because this is week number, oh my goodness, I think this is the 25th week I've been doing this, and I think I've only heard that one other time. So that's pretty good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be too cliche, but I feel like I just love the game so much that that's the only reason I do anything that I do. I'm just like, I love it so much.
Oh, I love that. I love it. That's a great definition or a great reason to have that one. So it's perfect.
Okay.
And it definitely shows. It definitely shows in the way you play, Paetyn. You've had an incredible month of February and into March, and hopefully this is just the beginning of some hockey in March. So looking ahead, we've got 4 WCHA teams in action in our 11-team NCAA bracket, which is incredibly exciting for the WCHA. It all kicks off Thursday night. Wisconsin will play Clarkson out in Boston, and the University of Minnesota Duluth will pair up against Harvard in Minneapolis. And then our other 2, Minnesota and Ohio State, will join us on Saturday, playing winners of games that are completed on Thursday night. So it's a big weekend of hockey. All teams competing to advance to the Frozen Four at Penn State in a couple of weekends. Paetyn, best of luck to you and your teammates. Enjoy the home crowd. Enjoy the home ice advantage.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Signing off. Let's go WCHA this weekend. Have a great day.
Keep riding the wave. Woo!
You got it.